Oh, it's great to see how our experts are hands-on and making sure that we all lead a healthier lifestyle. How informative was that? Well, did you know also that certain foods can increase heart disease? And you know, it might be tough to even change your diet because you've got such a lot of bad food under the belt, literally. Well, there are some foods that can put us on a healthy journey to our hearts. And our vital expert is here with us. Andrea, I look at that insert and I think, wow, so many people came out just because we want to be informed.
I so enjoyed it because it's really nice to see how South Africans are wanting to take charge of their own health. And you know, with heart health, cholesterol and blood pressure tests, I think that's something that we tend to do as we get older because we think the risk is there when we age. And I was so surprised and pleased to see how many young people came for the assessments. But I was shocked to see how many young people had high cholesterol levels. Most people that I chatted with had high cholesterol.
Sure.
And many people never expected it because they're young, skinny, healthy individuals. And that's why they call...
And you don't think to go and test it because you're skinny.
Exactly. And that's the problem in South Africa. There's a genetic tendency, so it's an inherited trend. I also have high cholesterol in my family. So the first time I had my cholesterol tested, I thought it would be below 5 because I eat like this, super healthy and I'm fit. But my cholesterol was 6.9, which is way too high. So luckily I've been able to get it down with natural remedies, etc. But you don't know that is high if you don't have it tested because you don't have any symptoms if you don't feel any different.
They call it the silent killer.
That's right, exactly.
Well, before we even get to that, I see that there's a whole bunch of healthy foods here. We want to eat our way to being healthy, so fighting heart disease and stroke and high blood pressure and cholesterol and diabetes. And I know of people that's got all of that.
Yes.
How do we eat our way to a healthier me?
Well, we know which foods we should try to avoid, you know, the deep fried foods and fatty meats, etc. But I think the emphasis should really be on what we can eat because all the foods here have heart health properties.
Right.
Some foods can help lower cholesterol. Looking at the beautiful piece of salmon there in the front, oily fish like salmon contains omega-3 fatty acids that can actually help to reduce your cholesterol levels and improve your heart health. At the front also there we have those nuts. And nuts contain healthy fats, but they should not be those deep-fried, salted nuts.
Or the almonds that are, I love them.
So raw nuts are the best, yes.
Raw nuts are better, okay.
And you can see here also we've got a display of fresh produce, so fresh fruits, vegetables, and all of these contain nutrients and antioxidants that are almost like natural medicines that keep our heart healthy.
Speaking of natural medicines, I know you've mentioned the omegas in our fish, and why is it important to have the fiber and also antioxidants in our diet? I mean, I can see that you've got a whole host of it here.
If you look at fiber in foods that you find in vegetables and whole grain cereals and in sweet potatoes as a vegetable as well and beans, they're really important because they also help our bodies to work out the bad fats and also it's good for your digestive system.
Yeah.
So indirectly, it can also help to improve your cholesterol levels.
All right. And the beans, I mean, if there's sodium to it, do you just wash it off? How do you?
Yes. Ideally, if you look at a heart-healthy diet, you should be mindful of your salt intake. So some tinned foods have lots of salt.
Okay.
So if you eat, for instance, tinned tuna, make sure that it's drained properly and also be mindful that there's lots of salt in that portion of fish. Or with tinned beans, for instance, it's already processed. And then the rest of whatever is on your plate, like your vegetables, try not to use too much salt there.
Okay.
Yes.
From salt to our omegas, I'm curious about the fish because of all the things, and I'm thinking also what we talked about in the kitchen earlier. It's Vegetarian Month, you know, we're becoming aware of all these things. The omegas in the food, how does fat reduce heart disease?
Oh, yes. It's so interesting because in the past, when cholesterol was identified as a risk factor for cardiovascular disease, they said cut out all fatty foods. And that included fatty fish, etc. But now, through research, we've learned that some fats are good for us.
Right.
And they can actually help to balance the fat in our bodies. And if you go for a proper cholesterol test where they take a blood sample and send it away to the lab, they test or they can analyze the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol. Now, we often hear about somebody that says that they need to change their diet and lifestyle because they need to increase their good cholesterol.
Right. And the good cholesterol is in our fish.
Well, actually not. What's in the fish is the omega fatty acids, and that helps to increase your good cholesterol naturally in your body. And through that, it also helps to reduce the bad cholesterol.
Well, Andrea, this is amazing. I could eat all of this for breakfast at once.
Well, let's try.
Oh, from healthy foods and how to look after our heart to music that includes a fox. Now, there's something that's been trending all the time. You know, I try and stay away from these things because it just lures us into social networks. Kat knows all about it.
Trust vital for your family's health.